Hi, friends. I'm Emily Lay, and you're listening to the Simplified podcast. If you're looking to simplify your life and organize your home, then you are in the right place. Every week, I invite you to explore practical ways to organize and automate the complicated parts of life so you can focus on what truly matters most. Guys, if you're looking for ways to simplify your time in the kitchen, I can't recommend the Simplified Meals Workbook enough. I use this thing every week. You can use it to plan your weekly meals, keep track of your grocery list, and take it with you on the go as you hit the stores, plus so much more. You can find the Meals Workbook right now over at emilylay.com. Well, I've been a cook for about 20 years, but honestly, I still don't feel like I'm a cook. Not really. I can make a sandwich. I can follow a Green Chef recipe. I can make dishes my mom loved to make me when I was a kid. But am I going to search for recipes for hours and hours on Instagram and create elaborate meals for our family to enjoy on weekdays and weekends and holidays and everything in between? I'm not. That's just not me. It might be some of you, and I think that's amazing, but I was not born with that DNA. But if someone wants to come along and teach me a few ways I can stock my kitchen with tools to make my life easier, or how to take a recipe to the next level, I am on board with that. I don't need to know how to make a complicated Julia Child recipe, but I am here for learning a 3-ingredient sauce to pair with some weeknight chicken, or a tool that's going to help me peel garlic without making my fingers sticky, or even how to make my kitchen work a little bit better for me. I know myself. I'm not going to transform into Ina Garten anytime soon, but I can add a few new skills and tools to my kitchen tool belt. And you know who's really great at giving me these kinds of skills? Bri McKoy. Bri McKoy. To know her is to love her. She was on the podcast last year and taught us all about how to make the best soup. Go listen to that recipe on that episode about the lemony chicken potato soup. It is so good. And today she's back to tell us about her brand new book called The Cook's Book, which comes out August 29th. I love Bri because she's fun, she's bubbly, she's a home cook who didn't start out loving the process. Can you relate? Bri likes to eat, and over the years, through one failed experiment after another, she's figured out skills to make her time in the kitchen more joyful and more delicious. Plus, she makes pizza every Friday night. I trust a woman who makes pizza a weekly priority. Can I get an amen? Anyway, Bri is a delight. I love this conversation so much. I bet you will too. With that, folks, here's my conversation with none other than Bri McKoy. I am so excited to have you back on because well, first of all, I've already told you this, but the lemony chicken potato soup in the Instant Pot changed my life. It is so delicious, and I just love you. So welcome back.
I'm so happy to be here. I love that you love that soup. I really feel like I arrived when I saw that Emily Lay loved this soup.
Oh, stop.
I was like, I should probably write a cookbook now. And look at what I've done.
Hysterical. Okay, please tell us. I have so many questions for you, but please tell me about The Cook's Book, which, by the way, is the best named cookbook on the history of the world. What a cute name.
Thank you so much. I really struggled over that name because I was like, I want this book to be like The Cook's Book. I kept saying that. I want it to be the Cook's Book.
Yeah.
It should be called The Cook's Book. But I set out to write it because I was thinking of myself. I call myself an accidental home cook. I am definitely one of you all.
Yeah.
Like, I did not have this super big passion or love for cooking. I thought it was an important part of my DNA that I didn't know how to cook.
Yeah.
I loved that fact about me.
Yeah. It's taken me a little while to enjoy that fact about me, but I'm the same way. It's the same thing.
It's like, this is who I am. Like, I'll eat all day long. I don't want to be in the kitchen. I don't want to cook.
Right.
So when I was learning to cook, strictly because of budget and not being able to eat out all the time, I realized there were so many things to learn in the kitchen. It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I fumbled my way through it for quite some time and then finally arrived to where I am. And so I wanted to write the book that I wish 26-year-old Bri had when she was learning how to cook.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. This is the book that I need. I'm 40-year-old Emily and I still need it.
Love it.
I love that. Tell me about when it changed for you. When did you start actually enjoying it, though? Actually enjoying cooking?
It was 2 things that happened. The first was I really loved what was happening at the table when people were gathering.
Yep, same.
And I just wanted to have more. Yes, it was really, I wanted to learn how to cook so I could be with my people more. I didn't really want to learn to cook so that I could be known for cooking.
Right. or impress them.
Exactly. I was like, listen, I want to be at the table with you all, which means I need to figure out the ish in the kitchen because I'm the one cooking.
Right.
And so I think it was like when I realized I could become a little bit more efficient, like I just would learn a skill here. Like, oh, I learned how to chop an onion correctly. So I'm not sawing away at an onion for 30 minutes. Or like a skill there, they kind of like snowballed. And one day I just was like, I know how to cook and I'm really enjoying it.
That's awesome. It's like getting those basic skills in your toolbox so that it's not such a pain. During the pandemic, when we all had like so much time on our hands, I started just Googling things while I was in the kitchen. Like, here's how I chop an onion. But like, is there a better way to do this? Because I'm crying my face off while I do it. I'm trying not to slice my fingers. They never look like they're the same size, you know? And so like taking the time to actually learn the skills that maybe you didn't learn when you were younger is so good, because I do feel like for myself too, like once I felt a little more equipped, like I kind of knew what I was doing, it makes it more fun and less of a, like you're trudging through mud, you know?
And that is what I found. Like when I did learn how to, cook food without it sticking in the pan, there was like joy there. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so learning how to cook opened the doorway to joy, which was not even something I was expecting, but that's what happened.
I love that. And the Cook's Book, it's not just like a collection of recipes, right? Like there's a whole lot in there that kind of serves this purpose to help people feel more, because if you're constantly in the kitchen and messing things up, you're just like, what's the point, right? But if you get those really like those kitchen skills in your toolbox, then it makes it more fun. So tell me about like why writing that part was important to you.
Yes, that is exactly right. I feel like the Cook's Book, I look at it more as a manual or like a cook's bestie, because it doesn't just have recipes like you shared. It has a lot of guides for techniques and skills. And it really was because I feel like I had become a really good recipe reader.
Yeah.
But I was still like burning a lot.
Yeah, same. Right.
I'm like, how am I 2 or 3 years into cooking and things are still over salted? And I didn't understand that. And so I realized it's because a lot of cookbooks, it's the recipe and you're just reading the recipe. And that cookbook author is really hoping that maybe you know your pan well, or maybe does your oven, does it like cook really fast or really slow? Is it colder? Is it hotter? And so I was like, oh, I'm going to put in a bunch of skills and techniques into this cookbook. And then after you learn the skill or technique, like how to heat your pan properly so food won't stick, then we're going to make a bunch of recipes that reinforce the skill.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And it also, to me, like once you kind of get those, you learn like how your oven works and how, your pan responds to heat or whatever. You also, not only are you good at following a recipe, but you kind of get this confidence where you're like, okay, here's what I have in my refrigerator. I think I could cook this chicken in the pan and add this to make a sauce. And like you get that thing that like people like us weren't born with. Like my brother and my mom and dad, they have it in their DNA that they can just like walk into a kitchen and whip something up. And to me, that is not my idea of a good time. Like I would rather eat a peanut butter and jelly than deal with that. But I feel like once you get those things in your toolkit, then you're like, okay, I can kind of like know what I'm doing around here a little bit. Yeah.
And I think something that like you will love, and I've learned from you and your audience will probably love, is that when I was learning how to cook, I really thought I was trying to reach a point of perfection.
Yeah.
Like I could never burn a chicken again. And I was like, okay, that's unrealistic. But what is realistic is a confidence. And a confidence doesn't mean I'll never burn chicken again.
Yeah.
It means though, if my chicken starts to burn, I probably will know what to do or how to pivot.
How to save it. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm thinking of the turkey that I about set on fire one Thanksgiving and set my fire alarm off when my kids were little. It was the first time I ever did a whole turkey by myself. I can do a whole turkey now, though. I can do it.
That's right. That's right.
So kind of like we talked about, so many people, they just dread cooking, right? And I've learned, getting to know myself as I've gotten older, I've learned that it's two-part for me. It's like, if I don't plan it out and make sure I have what I need, I can't do it, right? So how do you think people can like overcome that dread? Do you think it is like just getting those skills in their pocket so they feel more confident, or is it finding a couple recipes they really like? But like, how do we lighten the pit in the stomach of the person that's like, I just hate it?
Oh, yes. Oh, I know that person so well because I used to be that.
Yeah, right.
And I feel like what helped me is again, it was like so easy to focus on everything I didn't know.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how to chop things properly. I don't know how to make pasta, all these things. And then I just decided, like, what am I good at? Is there something I am good at? And let's build on that. And so, like, Jeremy and I are really good at making cocktails.
Yeah.
I really liked pulling a sauce together. So I was like, maybe I'm just like buying a rotisserie chicken and leaning on what I already know, because I noticed that like my success in the kitchen built on each other.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So then after I was like, okay, we got this locked down.
Yeah.
Okay, I make the chicken now. Like maybe I make the chicken. And so I think that, and then what you mentioned, having I have 3 like tried and true recipes that I make and kind of just go through when we have guests over, and I never change it.
Right.
Because Brienne, for some reason, she thought that she should be making like mini Cornish hens like for the first time ever when we had new people over.
I feel that in my bones. Like, I feel like I've tried that before. And why? I also feel like for me, so when I was a very young child, I had salmonella for 11 months. And it was a whole thing.
What?
Yeah, I got it from baby food. Of course, don't remember it. I was like 1 year old or less than 1 year old. But my mom tells the story to me that it was a jar of baby food that was spinach baby food. And she opened it and was like, this is gross because it's spinach baby food. Apparently, there was like a grocery store here that like sold a bunch of anyway, me and all my friends we all got salmonella at the same time. But I had it for 11 months and was like in and out of the hospital. And while I don't remember it, it's like ingrained in my DNA that I'm very afraid of raw chicken, raw eggs, like undercooking things. And it's almost like a subconscious thing. I don't remember it, so I don't know why I'm like this, but I'm really afraid of undercooking things. And so it took me getting over that fear by learning things like 165 degrees in the inside of a piece of chicken is 165 degrees. And so you better believe I got myself a meat thermometer. And every time I'm cooking chicken in a pan, I'm poking every little chicken nugget to make sure it's 165 degrees. But like knowing that and having the skill, the knowledge, the tool to do it, it helps me get over that innate terror of cooking chicken, you know?
I think that's so smart, because I feel like I remember when I would watch Food TV Network, I was the same way with raw chicken.
Yeah.
I was like, I called my chicken like dry, but you won't die.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, listen,
it's burned, but it's fine.
but you're going to live. So
yeah.
But I found like some people some of like the celebrity chefs would have, like the chicken was supposed to feel like the inside of your palm. That's how you knew it was good.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, you only cook it this much on each side.
No.
And I was like, wait, why don't I just get a meat thermometer?
Can we just get a thermometer so we know? We kind of like at Simplified, like we approach life this way. Like, what's the pain point for you and how can we get past it? A meat thermometer, right?
And it's like, there's no rule that says, oh, you use a meat thermometer, you're not a good cook.
Right.
Or you're not a good recipe developer. I use my meat thermometer all the time.
All the time. Well, the fun thing about our homes, talking about like kitchens and how they're all different. And so some kitchens have islands. Some kitchens have like more than one fridge, an extra dishwasher, lots of that precious counter space. But every cook needs to feel comfortable in their space and like make it their own. So can you talk to us about your kitchen space, how you've made it your own to make you feel comfortable and confident when you're cooking? And then like how can other people take whatever size kitchen or space they're working with and make it work for them?
Yes, I have had to get very good at this because my husband's in the military. So we move like every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And we never know what our kitchen is going to look like. I've had very updated kitchens. I've had kitchens where the cabinets are falling off and there's like one little drawer.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I have gotten really good at making my kitchen work for me. And I think the first was like a mindset, because I feel like every other room in a house that we've lived in, and we've mostly rented, every other room, I'm like, this is my bedroom. This is my living room.
Yeah.
And for some reason in the kitchen, I was like, this kitchen owns me.
Right.
This kitchen tells me what to do because
that's right.
This is where the stove is.
Right.
I'm not moving a stove. And I had to flip that script and be like, no, I own this kitchen and I'm going to make it work for me, whether I have a lot of space or not. So we've done things like we've used spare closets as pantries for like additional items. I always look at spaces in our home that can be an extension of our kitchen if we're not using them.
Yeah.
So, for example, in this house, it's a galley kitchen.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of places where I can, with an island, you can kind of display your bigger appliances.
Yeah.
We don't have that here. But what we did have is they did like a built-on the backside for it's like kind of a closet for a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
But they had a washer and dryer attachment up in the primary bedroom. And so we were like, this now holds our appliances. And we put shelves up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I was just like, okay, whatever room makes my kitchen more functional. So the baseline, my kitchen, no matter the size, always has to have the things I'm reaching for almost daily.
Yeah.
And then find a place, and it doesn't be the kitchen, where you store bigger things so you're not as cluttered. And so we've done that. We put bookshelves in kitchens to hold appliances or more cookbooks. We just are like, okay, this is our kitchen. What do we need it to do for us?
I love that. And you mentioned briefly the tools that you have to have in your space, no matter the size. What are those for you? What are the tools you feel like every kitchen needs to have for every person to be successful in it?
So I mostly love things that are, I kind of have a little checklist I go through that's what do I feel like makes cooking more efficient? What do I feel like has multiple uses? And how often will I be using it?
Yeah.
And if it checks off those 3 items, then it's definitely living inside my kitchen. And those things would be my chef's knife. Always have to have my chef's knife. A garlic press, a citrus press, because I love citrus and garlic. I always, no matter what size our kitchen, have a big cutting board out because I realized cutting board out was just annoying. And I was like, it's just always out.
Such a pain.
It's such a pain.
Yeah.
It's just always out. Then I'm just feel ready.
Yeah. And then some of the plastic cutting board, I have a couple of just small, they're from material and they're lightweight. So they're not unwieldy, and you can get them out for here I am with the raw chicken again. Get the chicken out. Don't put it on the wood cutting board, that kind of thing. But if they're small enough, you can stick a couple of them behind a cookie sheet or something.
Exactly. That's the same. I have a few small cutting boards that are designated for dangerous items, like raw chicken.
Right.
You are a dangerous item. You're going on the cutting board.
That's right.
But yeah, and I love having a trash bowl and a scraper because that also makes prep so easy. But yeah, those things that I probably am using them every single time I'm bringing a dish together.
I love the idea of a trash bowl. I got that from Rachel Ray, that she always had the trash bowl. And I was like, this is actually brilliant. We do a lot of Green Chef meals, and I'll have the bag it comes in, and it'll just sit right there, and it'll be my trash bag. And I don't know what it is, but it just makes the cleanup easier. It makes the space tidier as you go. I love that. That's a good tip.
I love that. The trash bowl I have is the Rachel Ray trash bowl.
Oh, is it really?
Everybody can have, and I always tell people, because they're like, where'd you get that bowl? And I'm like, it's Rachel Ray, but you can use any bowl.
Totally. I have a red KitchenAid bowl that I've had for, I think it was Brian's before we got married that I use. It's the water the plants bowl and the trash bowl.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Those simple things that you're like, wait, this makes so much sense.
As summer winds down, if you're like me, you are so ready to get back to a routine. And for me, that means making sure I'm getting all the vitamins and supplements my body needs so I can feel my very best. And one of my best partners in health is, hands down, Care of. Care of is a subscription service that ships personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders conveniently to your door every single month. You take a short, in-depth quiz about your lifestyle and health goals, and they'll give you a personalized, doctor-backed recommendation that takes the guesswork out of what supplements are best suited for you. I've been traveling a lot this summer, and I always worry about stress and immunity when I'm on the road. Plus, I'm always looking for ways to strengthen my hair and nails. Are yours brittle? Because mine always are. I took the Care of quiz, and it recommended a personalized vitamin pack I can take every day, plus a berry-flavored powder called a Pocket Protector for extra immunity on the go. That'll be helpful once the kids get back into school and bring who knows what germs back to our house. For 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code Simplified50. That's takecareof.com and enter code Simplified50 for 50% off your first order. I'm always trying to do right by my body, so when it comes to my hair and scalp health, finding a product that works and is made with clean ingredients always seems like a trade-off. But with Vegamore, I get products that are made with clean ingredients and give me visibly healthy hair. With Vegamore, I can have thicker, fuller, shinier hair, all without the harsh ingredients. Liz just told me she got the Everyday Kit, so I definitely had to try it, and I love it. It comes with the Grow Revitalizing Shampoo and Conditioner, which I'm already in love with. But my favorite part is definitely the Grow Dry Shampoo. When my hair feels a bit greasy, I just spray some stuff in this, and I swear my hair looks better than the first day I styled it. This stuff makes it so easy to go a few more days without washing my hair, and I call that a win. So give yourself the hair you never thought you could have with Vegamore. For a limited time, Simplified listeners get 20% off their first order by going to vegamore.com/simplified and using code SIMPLIFIED at checkout. That's vegamore.com/simplified, code SIMPLIFIED to save 20% on your first order. vegamore.com/simplified, code SIMPLIFIED. Okay, talk to us about salt, because you have a whole section about salt in this book, right? So, what do we need to know most importantly about seasoning our food?
The most important thing, I think, is all food needs to be seasoned.
Yeah.
And I really tried to shy away. I was salt shy when I first started cooking.
Yeah.
Because I had one mistake where I oversalted butternut squash.
I've done it. Yep.
It burns you.
It burns you. Yeah. I can taste it right now. It was broccoli for me. And it's yeah.
It's that is when I broke up with salt.
Yeah.
So I wasn't using salt a lot. And then I realized whenever I would taste something and it was just a little off.
Yeah.
And I was what does that need? And I would go through a catalog of things. It almost always was salt.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
It brings the flavor out.
It brings the flavor out. And that's what I was missing when I didn't feel like anyone really explained that to me. I feel like salt is the spotlight. It puts a spotlight on food. It makes tomatoes more tomatoey, potatoes more potatoey. It just makes the food more of what it's supposed to be.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And it was I don't think I really realized how much salt helps me out. It's my little sous chef.
Right. I feel too, I watch people on TV, these chefs, they'll take a handful of salt and put it in something. And I'm I don't trust myself that much. I do a little at a time and then taste it, a little more and then taste it. And then I'm full by the time we serve dinner. But I at least know that it's not oversalted broccoli.
But at least I love that tip too, because I wish someone would have told me, hey, it's so much easier to add at the end than to take away.
Right. It's real hard. It's real hard.
So hard to take away. It's hard to take away spice, saltiness.
Yeah.
But at the end, you can be oh yeah, that needs another squeeze of lemon.
That's a good point. It makes me think of sauces, because if you add things to sauces, you really can't take them out. You have to try to find a way to counteract whatever you've got in there. But you said you love making sauces and you have a section on sauces. So talk to us about the ways that a sauce can transform a meal, and which one is your favorite?
Oh, yes. I love sauces. I feel early on, I realized sauces are a cook's secret weapon. Yeah. Because you can be serving just grilled or sauteed chicken.
Yeah.
And you put on a garlicky dill cream sauce.
Yum.
It changes the
game changer.
It's a game changer. And it is usually very simple to bring those together. For my cream sauces, I really like using a base of Greek yogurt and some heavy cream. And then it's okay, what fresh herbs do I have? What citrus do I have?
Yeah.
And it just, it changes everything. And so I realized instead of trying to think of new dishes to make,
yeah,
maybe I make this roast again, but with a different sauce.
I love that.
And so that's when I leaned very heavily in sauce.
Do you have a favorite store-bought sauce?
I will say, and this is a pasta sauce, Rayo's.
Oh, so good.
They are so good.
It's so good on anything. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
We use that a lot. We use Carbone a lot too. Have you had that one? It's really good. You got to get it right from their website. That one's really good. But my kids are in this ranch phase where they want ranch on everything. You have to either make your own ranch, which is yummy.
Yes.
Or you have to get, I like the Bolt House ranch. That's one of my favorite. I don't like the Hidden Valley ranch. Don't come at me, people, but we're a ranch particular around here.
Oh, you don't need to try that one.
It's good.
It is?
Yeah, the Bolt House Ranch is really good. Yeah. Okay, my last question for you before we go into rapid fire, which is my favorite part of all of this. You and your husband, Jeremy, you recently moved from DC to St. Louis. So
yeah,
tell us about that. And you've discovered that food can help you make new friends. How has that come into play for you?
Yes, that is true. We just moved here And it's always a journey, especially we're in our late 30s. And so making friends is just...
It's so different.
It's so different. And don't have kids. I feel like that's another layer of like, oh, we're not going to meet anybody at like the school pickup line or at the playground.
Yeah.
And so I am just like, well, let's just feed them.
I love that. Nobody turns down food, right?
I know. And it has been so fun because we started like reaching out to our neighbors, and a lot of them have younger kids, but it's been fun because they've kind of felt like it's a date night because they'll get like a babysitter and come to our house.
Fun.
And we just like wine and dine them.
That's great.
We've gotten to know so many people. And now we feel kind of like our house is like the restaurant or, you know, the like night out.
That's awesome. I love that.
It's been really fun.
Well, so I have rapid fire questions for you. And you just, whatever comes to your brain, you just spit it out. That's what rapid fire is. So, favorite go-to snack when guests are coming over?
Bacon wrapped jalapenos.
Ooh, that sounds really good. Do you take the seeds out or you leave the seeds in?
I got to take the seeds out.
Okay.
It's too spicy.
It's really spicy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
But the bacon, it's so good. It makes your house smell so good.
It sure does. I recently made bacon in the air fryer. Have you done that?
Yes.
It was like a game changer.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, it really was. Okay. What is your go-to drink of the moment?
Ooh, I think that because it is the height of summer, I probably would say that my sunshine martini, which is a little bit like a lemon drop, not as sweet.
Ooh.
It's just so refreshing, cooling.
Yum.
I love it.
I love it. Okay. Your favorite Friday night pizza toppings. By the way, I love that you are like a pizza fan because my whole family, we are big pizza fans. And you do Friday pizzas like we do, which I love. That's so fun. What's your favorite pizza?
Well, recently we've really gotten into like barbecue chicken pizza with candied jalapenos.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. A kitchen tool someone would have to pry from your cold, dead hands.
Okay, this one's newer to me. It's like so many of them. I recently got a toaster oven / air fryer.
I have one too. I'm obsessed.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Why do I need anything else in my kitchen?
Exactly.
Right.
I use it all the time, especially it's so great in summer because you don't have to turn on your oven.
Yes.
So I don't know if I can, but they would have to try to pry it from my hands.
It's so good for reheating things too, like leftovers, because an air fried leftover versus a like microwave leftover is not even comparable. Okay, last one, favorite dinner for a date night at home.
I live for a surf and turf moment.
Oh.
Like I want a juicy ribeye, crab legs, all the garlic butter, and bread.
Oh my gosh. Sign me up. Yes, all the bread, please. That's me. I could live off bread. That sounds delicious.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, why don't we do this more often? And I'm like, it's really easy. That's the other thing. It comes together so quick.
Right. Oh my gosh, Bri, thank you for coming on and sharing with us all about your new book and sharing with us how you got to where you are. I think it's so fascinating for someone like me who I feel very validated and like I relate to you a lot in the way that you do enjoy cooking for some reasons and maybe don't for others. But people got to eat, you know? People got to eat. Tell everybody here where they can find you, where they can buy the Cook's book and all the things.
Yes, I am mostly on Instagram at Bri McKoy. And also on my website is where you can find all the ways to order the Cook's book, which is brimckoy.com. And I'm so excited to get this book in the world.
Yay! Oh my gosh, of course. Thank you so much. That was so fun. I absolutely love having Bri on the podcast. She always gives me so many good ideas and makes me feel like I am not going to be a complete failure in the kitchen. As we close out this episode, I want to say a little blessing over you as we leave this time together and get back to our days. Blessed be the hands that prepare a meal for someone else, for they are the true heroes of the day. Because anyone who would take time out to create love in a saucepan truly deserves a cape. May the ones who receive your bounty receive it gladly, and remember how much they are loved and cared for. As always, I love to leave a little tip to help you put what we've talked about today into practice. So here is your task for this week. You know how recipes always tell you to heat your pan to medium heat or medium-high heat, but you don't know exactly how hot that means? I'm laughing because I totally understand this. I'll give you a rule of thumb. Heat the pan until a drop of water forms a ball and sizzles across the pan. That is what Bri says. and I'll listen to anything she says about working well in the kitchen. Thank you for listening to the Simplified podcast. Don't forget to check out show notes for this episode at emilylay.com/podcast, and you can shop the Simplified brand of planners and products. You can follow me on Instagram at emilylay and our brand at Simplified. And you can also find my latest book called Sure as the Sunrise right now wherever you buy books. And hey, if you want these kinds of great conversations in your life every week, you should go follow our show. It'll show up right in your phone. Talk about automated. Till next time, thanks for listening. Bye.